freeze you. Stealing can get you behind bars. When God says, do not fornicate or do not commit adultery, it's for our own benefit. God is preventing you from disgrace. God is preventing you from death when you go after somebody's wife or husband. God is preventing you from sicknesses, because when you commit sexual sins, you sin against your own body. So, God's commandments are for our own benefits. There are more benefits in obeying God's laws. Let's see some Bible verses on what we derive in obeying God. Let's look at Psalm 119, verse 97 to 100. This is the longest chapter in the Bible. There are some hidden truths there, which I believe some of you haven't seen. Psalm 119, verse 97 to 100. Let's go. The psalmist is saying, "Oh, how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day." The psalmist is saying that his desire for God's commandments is his meditation all day. He focuses on in everything that he does, whether he's at work, whether he's with friends, whether he's sleeping, taking a nap. God's commandments, he's conscious of them at all times throughout the day. This is what the psalmist is saying. And we are required to do that. Let's continue. Thou, through thy commandments, hast made me wiser than my enemies. You see, this is one of the benefits. You become wiser than your enemies. Any trap they lay for you, you can escape. You can pass through, because enemies are always setting traps. Our enemies, the Bible says, are the principalities, rulers of darkness, powers in high places, spiritual wickednesses. These demons, they are always wanting our downfall. They work through people. They work through your family members. They work through friends. They work through your government. They work through your tribes. So, let's continue. I have more understanding than all my teachers. This is what the Bible is saying, that when we obey God, you get more understanding than your teachers. Who is your teacher? Those who guide you, those who teach you the disciplines. Why will you have understanding than all your teachers? Because you know the truth of life from obeying God. Because you fear God, so you have wisdom. You fear God by obeying his commandments. The Bible is saying you have more understanding than those who teach you. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. What are God's testimonies? When God shows his love, when God shows you his wisdom, his wondrous works, When you understand them, when you experience them, you see that whatever you are taught, you get a better understanding because you know how God does his things in this life and in your life. You understand more. This is what the Bible is saying. Let's move on to the next verse. I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. Who are the ancients? The aged, the old men and women, those who have kept long in this life. They have more experiences. The Bible is saying that when you obey God, you have more understanding than them. Even though you are young and they are older and they have all the experiences in life, you understand more than them. This is what the Bible is saying. If you obey God. So, anytime you can go through this yourself, meditate on it. Let God open your mind. Meditate on it, on these verses yourself to get the understanding more. So, always make it a point to love God's commandments. Have the desire. It is for your own benefit. Have the desire to obey God. Love his commandments. Jesus said we should love the Lord thy God with all our hearts. So you see that from the verse that we read first, verse 97, the psalmist says, oh, how love I thy law. You have to love God's laws. It is for your benefit. There are a lot of treasures in it for you to be able to pass through life's journey. Meditate on it, and I pray that you get the understanding. Thank you.